new pope to lead the church. Jonathan Mann, CNN, Atlanta.
2 years on, the tsunami remains a destructive force. Debris from Japan continues to wash on shore thousands of kilometers away. As Japanese families hold different ceremonies to remember the destruction and lost ones, CNN looks at how the havoc caused by the deadly tsunami is still creating problems for the environment.
Slamming the shores of one of Hawaii's most remote beaches. Debris, big and small, covering every inch of the Camilo Beach coastline. The foreign markings tell where some of it comes from.
These are definitely from Japan. This is some type of pickle, and that's definitely Japanese.
Hawaii Wildlife Fund's Megan Lamson has seen debris from Japan hit at a growing rate since fall, like a refrigerator with Japanese on the temperature dial, large buoys, even an intact fishing boat from Japan. Sucked into the Pacific on that horrifying day 2 years ago. Traveling through the Pacific, volunteers like HWF have been fighting the already big problem of marine debris, only made worse with the 1.5 million tons of floating tsunami debris.
It's disheartening to come out here and see all this marine debris in this area that's otherwise so remote, debris that's washing up from other countries.
This is not just a litter problem. Look at what's inside this albatross, a seabird. Found dead, plastics fill its body.
So little fat.
David Heirenbach and his team are researching the alarming rate of debris in the birds.
So here you see...
It is filled with plastic.
Yeah.
This is the stomach of a 2-month-old albatross.
Is that part of a drain?
Maybe. Oh, it's a brush. Look at that. You see?
About 80% of this baby bird's stomach is indigestible plastic, fed this by its parents, who confused it for food.
Morally, this is terrible. How is this possible, right? I mean, majestic, far-ranging, beautiful birds, right, in a pristine place of the North Pacific, and then you open them up, and this is, you know, what you find.
Heirenbach says every single bird he's opened up had some sort of plastic, some large ones like these toys and lighters and the adult birds.
So it goes way beyond the albatross.
It's also in our fish. NOAA fisheries biologist Leslie Jantz is cutting into the stomach of a lancet fish. It may look scary, but this is what yellowfin and big-eye tuna eat, the tuna that ends up on your plate.
What is that black thing? That is a plastic bag. Like a grocery bag? Or like just a garbage bag?
Nearly half of the lancet fish Jantz cut into had plastic.
And one thing that is a concern that we don't know is if any chemicals are absorbed into the tissue of the fish, which is a problem if it's going to be eaten by other fish that we consume.
A disaster still in the making, now widening its reach.
Environmental activists here say that there's nothing they can do about the tsunami debris. They can just clean up the beaches. But there is something that consumers can do to help them out. They see plastic bottle caps of the plastic water bottles that we use around the world. Consumers can simply use less plastic. Kyung-Hwa, CNN, Hawaii.
It's now time for our second break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and it's now time for the sports news with Fatou Jassi. Fatou?
Thank you very much, Fatou Sane Sise. Sambaba and Mariama Tijala were at the weekend crowned champions of the 3rd edition of the Farafenye Marathon Run, an endurance race organized to raise funds to sponsor needy school-going children. Amory S. Jala was in Farafenye for the marathon, and he reports on yet another super performance by 2 of the country's rising long-distance runners.
And Mariama T. Jallo continue to dominate the headlines in the country's long-distance run, with recent victories in the third edition of the Farafenni Marathon. The duo, who are part of the police athletics team, swept to easy victory, making a double joy for the law enforcers, providing themselves as the country's budding long-distance runners. The women's 5-kilometer race started from the border village of Ker Aib in neighboring Senegal, which according to the organizers is meant to further strengthen the existing cordial ties between the people of the two sides of the border. Fresh from winning the Brufut Marathon and Gore Marathon in Senegal, Mariama T. Jallo won the race convincingly on her maiden appearance, crossing the finishing line well ahead of the rest. She completed the event in 10 minutes 21 seconds, and her victory ended Siraketa's reign as the winner of the past two events. The local heroine and the crowd's favorite had to settle for the second place, crossing the line in 10 minutes 22 seconds, whilst Mariama Esba came third. The men's 10-kilometer race was won by Samba Ba for the second time in a row, in spectacular fashion, crossing the finishing line in 28 minutes 27 seconds. Regarded as the new kid on the block in long-distance running, Samba was nowhere near the level of his competing mates. Minutes after starting, Samba dominated from start to finish, and even when the going got tough, Samba continued to accelerate and open up a wide gap between him and the case in park, and crossed the line to a rousing applause from the cheering crowd. Having won the Brufut, Brikama, Njawara, and Nisa marathons, he now adds the Farafenni Marathon to a score of 5 consecutive marathon victories for the rising star of long-distance running. Demba Marong finished second, way behind the first man. The Farafenni Marathon is among the growing list of marathon races organized by a host of villages and towns around the country, with a view to creating awareness on the health benefits of sports, raise funds to help needy school-going children in the community, and discover potential talents. Deputizing for the Minister of Youth and Sports, who was very supportive of the event, the Executive Secretary of the National Sports Council, Mahmoud Max Jallo, commended the organizers for complementing the ministry's effort to develop sports all over the country before challenging other towns to emulate the Farafenni Marathon run. The winners were presented with certificates, trophies, and cash prizes, with Samba Ba and Mariama T. Jallo receiving $2,000 and $1,000 respectively. The third edition of the Farafenni Marathon Run has been hailed as a resounding success, as the organizers now shift their attention to the fourth edition scheduled for next year. One message that is resonating is support from the cosmopolitan town and the business community. Momodes Jallo, GRTS Sports.
That's all in sports. Back to you, Fatu.
Thank you, Fatu Jassi, and it's now time for the weather report from the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without ceasing. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Hello and welcome to the weather segment, beginning with a summary of the weather during the day today, followed by our forecast. The Gambia this afternoon was mainly warm and sunny. And for what will follow, let's start with a look at the satellite image captured at 16:30 hours, indicating very dry and stable conditions over parts of the continent. And for our forecast tonight, we're expecting the Gambia to be cool and misty tonight. Tomorrow morning will also be cool but dry, becoming warm and slightly hazy in the afternoon. Winds will be light in speed and variable in orientation. Morning temperature values will be 18 degrees Celsius above Banjul in Yindum. Kerawan Sibanon will record 17 degrees Celsius. Gino will be 20 degrees Celsius. And the rest of the country will be mainly 21 and 22 degrees Celsius tomorrow morning. Top temperatures will be 33 degrees Celsius over Banjul. Yundum will record 37 degrees Celsius. We are expecting 40 degrees Celsius over Kerawan, Sibano, and Jinoy. And the rest of the Gambia will be mainly 41 degrees Celsius. This indicates